Hi, this is Carl for Today in Tokyo on YouTube and eightfold.blog, as well as for The Right Words at Substack. I'd like to explain to you how big tech is making hell of my life. I went to Mongolia 4 months ago to seek opportunities in work and to visit my then girlfriend's family, as well as to keep my visa legal in Japan, where I am steadily looking for a job for quite some time. I lived here 5 years, went home to America to help family, and returned in 2025. In Mongolia, I played a very unwise joke on my girlfriend who was using my phone from time to time. I had changed the password and I didn't tell her, and she tried to get in using the old password twice. I then revealed my subterfuge, took the phone, and entered the correct password, at which point Apple locked my phone. Discussing it with her, she explained that there's much phone fraud in Mongolia and that probably the protocols are stricter for security in Mongolia. I had to do a factory reset, but even after making a new ID, Apple, like every other tech company today and every other website, every other email system wanting to market how secure they are, wants two-factor authorization, and I could not get into my app store to repopulate my phone with useful apps. Why is that important? Yes, I have a laptop through which I'm making this video now, but in Japan, nobody makes phone calls. Why would you when everyone ubiquitously uses the Line Messenger app for phone calls, texting, and data transfer? I am thus crippled and I can only use my laptop for communicating with people because I don't have a visa, so I can't get a phone contract here. And all of my accounts online are set up for two-factor authorization with old phone numbers that are no longer active. I can't get into my PayPal. I can't get into anything that I've been locked out of. Just today, not having used PayPal in the whole time that I've had it, maybe once or twice about 8 years ago, I managed to get in, but it wanted to confirm my identity. This stupid thing that we now cripple ourselves with, where tech companies want us to prove and prove and prove again whom we are while they cripple our lives. My life has been crippled right now in Japan, job searching, meeting people, and accessing my accounts because I don't have a phone. And because for centuries, we had other ways of identifying who we are, but now tech only wants to identify people with tech. Social security numbers or parts of them are no good. There's only one site that still uses catchphrases or memory phrases, and that's Proton Mail. By the way, I was locked out of my Proton Mail account today, and I have a feeling that this is because I'm being hacked. In this book here, I have all my passwords. In the phone that's providing the light for this video, I have all my passwords. I know my password and my sign-in name for Proton, but I can't get in all of a sudden. I didn't get it wrong. I had a discussion, quote unquote, because you can't discuss things with a non-sentient machine you pretend to discuss, with ChatGPT about the problems with Apple. I've been to the Apple store and I spoke to one of their very helpful tech people in the Philippines who could not get around the password issues to help me get a new password because I have an old phone. Being out of work, I can't afford to buy a new phone. And without a phone, I can't re-access any of my accounts. I wouldn't be able to anyway because they're all tied to old phone numbers, and big tech is turnkey and absentee. So I can go to a forum and I can go around in circles trying to find answers. There's a professor whose name escapes me at the moment who's talking about how big tech is really not making our lives easier. They're separating the haves from the have-nots. The preamble story that he uses to begin his discussion about this is how Jefferson invented the dumbwaiter, not to relieve his slaves of work, but rather to avoid embarrassment for himself and his guests, knowing his moral foundation is compromised, by having to be exposed to his slaves. Big tech, with AI and all of its other options, is really not making our lives easier. It's just making it faster, but more complex. And in cases like this, impossible. There's no one for me to talk to at Meta, at Apple, at Proton. So, what I used to do before I left Twitter, which was the right moral thing to do after Elon Musk, like the other big tech people, started financing a fascist, was appeal to them on Twitter. And I would get an answer sometimes. These days, that doesn't work because I'm not on Twitter, and they all just have vacant accounts on Blue Sky to maintain a presence. I've tried, I don't get an answer. You can go through the voluminous pages on the internet on any one of the tech giant platforms and their portals. You won't reach a person. This is also true at WordPress. I paid for a theme almost a year ago, which will expire soon. And the widget section of the theme where you add features on your website doesn't work. I've been in live conversations with their tech people. They tell me it's my fault. It's not my fault. They are scaling down the original options for the website. They once deleted a theme I paid for without any notice. And they're making the site more complex and appealing to coders and more people of their own ilk. The site used to be easy to switch from one to another of hundreds of themes, and now they are all very complex designed and annoying. They switched to something called blocks, and they set it up so it was easy to trip this way of editing your site. And before I had a chance to familiarize myself with it, I basically wasted a ton of time on one of my jobs in Tokyo because I accidentally tripped its activation and no longer knew how to edit the site that I was editing for my boss. This is what tech is doing. It's making billionaires richer. It's basically forsaking the human race by lying, like Sam Altman does when he talks about whether maybe ChatGPT is conscious. A man that smart who says such a stupid thing is not a man to be trusted. And all of the people who can be trusted, like Jeffrey Hinton and others, Max Tegmark, even the side of Elon Musk that isn't on ketamine and playing video games all night, knows the dangers of AI. Just check into Sam Harris or Steve Wozniak or other experts, maybe even Nick Bostrom. But they're going pell-mell ahead with it because, like the oil magnates, like the auto industry that didn't want to put seatbelts in the car, they only care about their pocket, while they pretend and tell you and me that they care about security and making the world safer and easier to navigate. Stay tuned. More at eightfold.blog and the right words at substack.com, available on Spotify and Apple Music. Keep changing minds, one person at a time, beginning with yourself. See you next time. If you can, think like an astronaut.